K-9 and Company, A Girl's Best Friend, the one-episode television pilot, is written by Terence Dudley and starring Elizabeth Sladen and John Leeson. So John Nathan Turner wanted to get Elizabeth Sladen back as Sarah Jane for Tom Baker's final story and leave its season 19 story, but she didn't want to, so Nathan Turner wanted to do something with K-9 as he was popular, and he thought spin-off would do the trick and needed a human as a main character, so he offered Elizabeth Sladen and she accepted. Bill Cotton, who was the controller of BBC One, really likes the episode, but he soon got replaced by Alan Hart, who did not like the idea, so there were no more episodes, which is a shame, but at least we got Sarah Jane Adventures, as the concept of Sarah Jane and K-9 were popular and also returned in Doctor Who, The Five Doctors and School Reunion. Ian Levine and Fiacre Trench did the electronic theme music, which is remembered by the fans. It's pretty catchy. So the feature length begins with Kate Colt going clockwise and has a photo of Lavinia Smith. So in the living room, Lavinia is giving a big box, which is for her niece Sarah Jane, for when she gets back. And she does on the next day, meeting George, and apparently her aunt Lavinia is missing. So after Sarah Jane gets a phone call from Peter Tracy and Brendan, Sarah Jane met up with him at the railway station as they're back in the house being barked at by a dog called Jasper. Sarah Jane gets a call from Juno Baker inviting her for tea, but obviously she's thinking that something isn't right, and Bill advised her not to go.
Much, Mrs. Baker. Goodbye.
Goodbye. She'll come.
So after he left, Sarah Jane and Brendan opens the box and inside reveals to be K-9 Mark III, a gift from the Doctor.
I am K-9 Mark III.
K-9 Mark III.
Affirmative.
And it's so cool to look back and seeing Sarah Jane meeting K-9 for the first time. Once they get to know each other a bit, Sarah Jane has a tea at Lily Gregson. We get great banter between Brendan and K-9.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Affirmative, affirmative?
To both questions, affirmative.
Ah.
So Brendan picks some samples up from the garden, and eventually as he came back he gets attacked by Peter. K-9 blasted Peter, so Brendan questioned him, but Peter advised Brendan to get away. So he did, while Sarah Jane meets Juno, Henry and Howard and everyone at the pub. K-9 knocks the gardening stuff over. Peter and George talk to each other about K-9. Brendan tells Sarah Jane what happened after when she came back.
I locked the back door, and Noah did. And you didn't find out who he was?
He wouldn't say. He just kept saying that we had to get away from here.
Elizabeth Sladen as Sarah Jane Smith, as always, amazing companion and a fantastic main character. What can I say that hasn't been said already? And John Leeson is great as K-9. I do love those two characters. Ian Sears played Brendan Richards, who was once called Bray Dunn of the Terre, is a Terry native species of Thea from the Moon. He gets saved by Patricia Richards. If K-9 and Company had more episodes, Brendan Richards would have been a regular cast member on the series. Brendan and K-9 modified the Doctor Who running joke. After K-9 declares that he was a gift from the Doctor, Brendan asked who's the Doctor, and K-9 replied, affirmative.
Who is the Doctor?
Affirmative.
Brendan's origin story was developed by Sadie Miller, Elizabeth Sladen's daughter in real life. By the end of Moon Blink, it is made clear that he would never know of his alien origins, and then he would end up becoming a normal human child. Responding to a quip that Brendan could have at least sent a card to Sarah Jane's funeral, Russell T Davis, the writer of the Doctor Who lockdown story Farewell Sarah Jane, tweeted that Brendan died in an avalanche in 2011. Gillian Martle plays Lily Gregson, who's the High Priestess of the Hecate cult and the postmistress of the Morton Harwood. Hecate cult are the witch species based in Morton Harwood, and I thought they're pretty cool. Mary Wimbush plays Lavinia Smith, Sarah Jane's aunt, and a world-renowned virologist. The character was actually first mentioned in the Sarah Jane debut story, The Time Warrior.
Well, my Aunt Lavinia is in America on a lecture tour, you see.
This is kind of rare in classic era, but mostly a thing in the 2005 relaunch era. in which companions' home lives are routinely and prominently featured. Companions' family and friends were almost never depicted in the classic era, aside from the Doctor himself, who was Susan's grandfather. The character would have likely been a regular cast member if K-9 and Company had become a series. As suggested by her appearances in the K-9 annual, Sarah Jane's upbringing as the adopted daughter of Lavinia fits in with the background established in Doctor Who magazine 1992 holiday special and was further expanded upon in the Sarah Jane Adventures, particularly The Day of the Clown and The Temptation of Sarah Jane Smith. In a November 2016 advertisement for Sherlock Series 4, a book written by Lavinia Smith was depicted on a bookshelf in 221B Baker Street. Bill Fraser played Bill Pollock, Lavinia's partner in a market garden in Morton Harwood and the high priest of the Hecate cult. Bill Fraser previously played General Grugger in Megalos. Colin Jeavons played George Tracy, a manager of a market garden in Morton Harwood and a farmer. Colin Jeavons previously played Damon in The Underwater Menace. Sean Chapman played Peter Tracy, a resident of Morton Harwood and criminal, and George's son, who got suspended sentence for breaking and entering. Linda Poland plays June Baker, who lives next to Lavinia Smith and got mistaken as a villain. Neville Barber played Howard Baker, Juno's husband. John Quamby played Henry Tobias, a member of the Hecate cult and the editor of Morton Harwood Standard. Nigel Gregory and Stephen Oxley played Vince Wilson and P.C. Carter, police officer. While the purpose of Wilson's death was to imply that Hecate cult had supernatural powers, this was a red herring. Later, the episode revealed that the cult had no powers whatsoever, implying that Wilson's heart attack was a genuine reaction to fright. The cast did a great job. The set, effects and music by Fiacre Trench, Ian Levine and Peter Howell are great. Next day, Sarah Jane and Brendan takes a look at the damaged greenhouse after getting complaints about K-9.
George says a dog did this. Well, if I catch him, I'll...
So later at night, Brendan gets taken away by Peter. Sarah Jane couldn't find him the next day, so she reports it to the police, but they're no use. So she drops a visit to the Bakers, who think Sarah Jane isn't well. So as she left, Brendan is about to get sacrificed. So Sarah Jane and K-9 arrived where Hecate cults are doing the ceremony. K-9 blasted them. Brendan is saved, Sarah Jane sees the familiar faces, and they get taken away by the police. So in the end, Sarah Jane, Brendan and the Bakers are celebrating Christmas. Lavinia phones Sarah Jane, and apparently she sent Sarah Jane a cable. Nothing bad happened, thankfully.
Ask Bill Pollock to cable you at your flat.
Oh, well, that explains that.
We get a amusing scene where K-9 is singing "We Wish You a Merry Christmas."
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
So yeah, there's great ideas for the show, especially with Sarah Jane and K-9 as the main characters. Sadly, it's just one episode. But like I said, at least it gave us Sarah Jane Adventures 26 years after. This episode also included in Doctor Who Season 18 Blu-ray box set.
Where are you from, K-9?
From the Doctor.
From the Doctor?
Affirmative.
So, what did you think of this episode? Drop your thoughts on the comments down below. Thanks people as always for watching, and see you in the next video.